Hey, what's going on? Down below in the description section, there's a free League of Legends cheat sheet. And also, if you're checking me out, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, the like button. Both of those help me out. They support a daily free content creator. So I'd appreciate that. And I hope that this helps you win some serious money tonight in your League of Legends contests. So there's two things I want to cover tonight. We're going to learn how to use the cheat sheets to build lineups on DraftKings by hand, doing a single entry lineup. And we're also going to talk about how to use the cheat sheet, upload projections, and some tournament theory involving leveraging chalk and ownership on Fantasy Cruncher. But first, let's talk about the cheat sheet itself. We're going to discuss what you're looking at, how to use it, and really the important things to look at when you're trying to identify the best plays, what to do with these plays, the projections, and what in the world is this correlation sheet up here? Yeah, that's right. We have a correlations chart here. This thing is sweet. Definitely going to be extremely helpful for when you create your hand-built lineups as far as figuring out the best correlations with the highest upside. So the first thing we're going to look at every single time you look at this cheat sheet is the odds. These are the Vegas odds. This is going to allow you to identify who the chalk will be. On a recent slate, we saw a team like C9 as very strong favorites. I think they were minus 600, and they ended up being 40% or higher owned in most tournaments. When you have a team like this where they are minus 2,000, they are just heavy favorites. They're going to be uber chalk. Now, does that mean they're going to win? High probability, an extremely high probability. But go ahead and use them in cash games then. In tournaments, you're going to want to leverage that situation a little bit. So let's say you're running out 20 max or a 150 max entry. You're going to make sure that you have some stacks against TES with OMG. Also, you're going to have some teams where you just don't target the game. Maybe for whatever reason, it was a closer game than it should have been, and TES didn't hit their upside at their crazy price points at a crazy chalk. And so you can leverage the field by, number one, using their opposing team against them and not touching TES. And number two, just fading the game and targeting other spots where there might not be a very clear lean on the exact outcome of the match. The next thing you need to look at is it a 1-game set or a 3-game set? What I mean by that is this. Sometimes it's a best of 3. If it's a best of 3, you're going to want to make sure you pay attention to the win column projections. They're going to change. That changes everything. If you are targeting a favorite, a minus 2,000 here with TES, you're likely just going to go with the 2-0 projections. You're saying, I think this favorite team is going to win, and I think they're going to win handedly. That's the best way to capitalize on their upside. So when you were to upload your projections into Fantasy Cruncher, you're going to take the 2-0 category for the heavy favorite team, upload it in FC, or build your lineups from that. If you're picking an underdog, that's when you're going to select the 2-1 category. So we have 2-1 FanDuel projections. We have 2-1 DraftKings projections. So let's say I'm taking DMO. They are plus 385 Vegas odds against Team LGD. So they are underdogs. I'm going to select their projections based on the 2-1 section. I'm theorizing that the underdog would win. Most likely we won't see an underdog that's going to 2-0 a heavy favorite. So when you pick those underdogs, pick the projections from the 2-1 category. If you pick a favorite, pick it from the 2-0 category. You're going to maximize your upside here. Now, if you are building individual lineups, doing it by hand, whatever it might be, when you're doing the correlation, try to maximize your lineup by looking for green. So the highest correlation we have, and a good idea to start your lineup with, is to put the ADC with the support player in the same lineup. You have a very highly correlated beginning to your team. So let's say you're doing a 4-3 stack. So you always want to go with whatever team you think is going to win that match, 4 players. Stack them up, baby, especially we're talking DraftKings here. You're going to go 4, make sure the support and the ADC are in there together. That's the first thing you need to do. If you're doing a single entry, those are the first 2 people I'm plugging in for that single entry lineup 100% of the time. All right, so we've broken down the sheet. We've talked about the correlations. We looked at odds. We talked about which column to pick for DraftKings and FanDuel projections. Remember, if you're picking an underdog, you're going with the 2-1 projection. If you're picking a favorite, you go with the 2-0 projection. If you're in a 1-0, All you do is upload the 1-0 projections into Fantasy Cruncher. You don't worry about this whatsoever because if you're targeting one team, you're not going to include the other team in that lineup. Do not game stack if there are 2+ games on the slate. Now let's execute it. Let's look at what it looks like. Let's do it on both DraftKings and on Fantasy Cruncher. Okay, first thing I want to do for Fantasy Cruncher, I'm going to highlight and copy these names. I'm going to make sure I have these all in there because I'm going to copy and paste them. I'm going to upload them into FC. So I'm going to upload data, player name. I'm going to go back to my Excel sheet. Going to go to the projections, and here's where it gets interesting. So if this is a 3-game set, we would do this differently. For the sake of time, we're going to use the 1-game set and just say that whatever slate you're looking at today, it's a 1-gamer, right? Every single match is just best of 1. So we'll take the 1-game set and we will just highlight and copy these, and we'll go back to FC and we will upload these in and hit upload projections. Okay, so from here, we're going to look at our projections. You can see that we have all sorts of projections that are going to help out in different ways based on these spots. If you're using FC, the 1.5 times multiplier for the captain spot is already calculated. That's beautiful. Thank you, FC. You're going to go to your game filter. You make sure you have the correct game on. We're going to go advanced options. We're going to go 2 uniques. That's my personal take. Randomness, we'll go 5% or so. Our projections have been incredible as of now. So I don't want to really lean on too much randomization because I think the strategy is sound and I think the projections are fire. Okay, we're going to go to team stacks. First thing we're going to do, we're going to stack games. We're going to stack teams one at a time. We're going to get a little exposure to everything here, and then we're going to go pretty heavy on some underdogs. So we'll do a 4-player stack. We'll start with DMO. We will add stack right here. We'll go 3 players. We don't want DMO, and we don't want LGD because that's their opponent. So our 3-player stack will be either a DMO and OMG or a DMO and TES. All right, so let's do 20 lineups. Go my projections. We're going to calculate. All right, so you can see it right here. We have 20 team stacks. We go click this team stack section. DMO has been stacked 20 times. TES 12. OMG 8 times with them. That's beautiful. Okay, now we're going to go back up to the advanced options. We're going to click LGD. We are going to run out 20 more stacks. Now you're going to 4-man stacks with LGD only. There it is, and you can see OMG got stacked up a bunch. TES 4 more times. We're going to go back up to advanced options. Take off LGD, put on OMG. Take off TES, their opponent. Get out of here, man. All right, so now we have OMG 4-man stacks. We're going to go with DMO and LGD on the other side, 3-manners. And here we go, 20. We are going back to advanced options. We're going to grab TES. This is going to be the chalk team of the slate. As we see, they are minus 2,000 Vegas odds. Crazy, crazy heavy favorites. So this will be a very chalky build right here. There we go. We got 80 lineups right now. We still have 70 more to create. At this point, I don't really want to give away the final part of this strategy. I think what I just showed you is something the entire industry talks about. It's just getting exposure everywhere. I want to talk about this in my Discord for my patreon.com/riseorfall members. Is a very, very specific way to use Fantasy Cruncher with the correlation chart. And I can't wait to show everybody inside Discord, but that is going to remain a Legends tier exclusive. And as you're looking at the patreon.com/riseorfall page, you can see the Legends tier only has 2 remaining spots out of 100. 7 out of 50 for the Legends and Fantasy Football combo. This includes a whole bunch of stuff. Just click the Show More button. You'll be able to look through it and see everything that's offered. Exclusive ownership projections, MME exposures, my stuff, prop bets, projections for a bunch of sports. Discord chat, I mean, there's a $9.89 charge as well if you want to do another tier give it a look. Patreon.com/riserfall. That's where you'll get that next level, how to use the correlations chart strategy inside Fantasy Cruncher with our projections. Now, let's take a peek at the single entry hand building on DraftKings, and we're going to look at exactly how to use the correlations chart if you're making a single bullet and you're trying to take down some solid prize money so that you can feel good about that victory. Slap a screenshot on your fridge or tweet at DFS and Donuts and holler at me and let me know that you used the cheat sheet. I don't care if you remember or not. Just go ahead. Let me know if you used it and you won some money. I'd love to retweet it for you and give you a platform to celebrate, because when you get those little wins in DFS, you have to revel in them. It's too volatile of a game to not celebrate when you win. Okay. So we're going to be going back and forth here. Right now we're looking at DraftKings. I've got the Bounty Hunter up, $44 entry. I am looking at the 2-game slate, the same exact thing we just looked at. Now I'm just going to show you in single entry form how I would go about building a lineup on my own if I were using the cheat sheet with the Vegas odds, projections, team stats, player stats, and correlations chart. Okay, so let's go back to that. Okay, one team that jumps off the charts for me immediately, and it takes some guts to do stuff like this. Fortune favors the bold. Scared money don't make money. It ain't easy to be uncomfortable, and I get it. You have to play the underdogs. You have to leverage the ownership. We know that TES is extremely chalky today because of the massive, massive favorites. This principle applies across pretty much all DFS sports, by the way. I ain't giving away some secret. It's just really hard, and people don't always do it. It's scared. They're scared too. I get it. I totally get it. It took me a while to get there too, but once you're able to kind of embrace the volatility of DFS, you're going to start making some money. I truly think you will. So we're looking at TES. They're massive favorites. There's no way OMG can win, right? Well, that's what 95% of the field is going to think today, and they're going to be all over TES, and no one's going to touch OMG except for me and whomever else has the guts to do so. Is it a fair bet that we're going to lose our money? Probably, my friends. Be prepared to do that. You're trying to play to win a tournament. You're not trying to double up your return. If so, just go play a double up. Stack TES with 4 players and enjoy a 2 times ROI on your investment. You're playing a tournament, you want 10, 20, 30, 40, 100 times your investment. You want a return that is just going to be immense. You can't do that by eating chalk. You eat chalk, you're going to tie with 500 other people at the top of the standings. You're going to split money. It's only going to end up being 2 to 3 times your ROI. There's no point. There's no point. You risked the money and had to be in the top 20% to get 2 times back. Just eat the chalk, go play a double up, be in the top 45%. See what I'm saying? So if you're trying to take down a tournament, you got to go against the grain. You're going to use that underdog. You're going to use multiple underdogs. You're going to use teams that are uncomfortable. They're going to be on their own, though. If they blow up, they go nuclear, you're going to be in the top 2-3% of the entire tournament because of your very low-owned stack, and it's you versus 2% of the lineups for first place, and that's how you win significant money, especially on a small slate that has only 2 games involved. Okay, so all I need to do now is I'm working with just one team because I'm creating a single lineup to start. I'm looking at OMG, and the first 2 spots I'm looking at are support and the ADC. So I'm putting Smills, SMLZ, and I'm also putting in Cold in here. And they're going to be my first 2 players in my lineup. So let's go. Let's go back to DraftKings. We're going to grab OMG. Here we are. We got ADC. We put in Smills. We're going back to support. We're putting Cold. And that's the beginning of our stack. It's the highest correlation. So we're going to make sure those 2 are involved in our 4-man stack. Now I'm going over to the top, okay? Top. I'm looking up who it is for OMG. Okay, the next thing I want to do is add a top. They are the best for the captain spot. One of the best, I should say. So we're going to go ahead and put in Alias. So we're going up to the captain spot. We're going to make sure that he is involved in our lineup. All right, we have one final player to add. So we're going to we're going to go back to the correlation chart. We're going to look at the next best correlation between jungle or mid and who they are correlated with the best, and we'll make sure we add them, okay? So we're looking at jungle. Their highest correlation is 0.812 with support. Mid's highest correlation is 0.795 with support. So if we want the highest correlation, we're going jungle with support here for our final piece of our stack. So OMG, we're looking for the jungle position. We've got Hacker right here. We're going to add Hacker to our lineup in the jungle spot. There we go, my friends. We have ourselves a lineup, a stack to start our lineup. At this point, we can't use TES. I think a fine option, already picking the likeliest, lowest owned players on the entire slate. We can go ahead and eat the chalk in the other matchup and create a lineup with our final 3 spots being from the favorited team between LG and DMO, which if we go back to our chart, we look at the odds here and we see that LGD are massive 650 favorites. There's no problem in sitting there and eating that now because we have already made our lineup extremely unique. So we'll go down to the team. We're going to add LGD here because now we're projecting them to win. So we'll add them in there. Then you're going to go over to the top. You're going to grab the projected starters here. Okay, so we're going to grab Lang X as the top, and our mid player, we will add Yuki at 36.9 projected points. All right, so I'm going to grab Lang X, go to mid, there's Yuki. Okay, boom, we have ourselves a $44 lineup. I'm going to win all the monies tonight. All right, my friends, I hope this helped you out. This principle and these strategies apply for all things League of Legends based on each projection set. Remember, review it, repeat it, and of course, hit that subscribe button if you're enjoying this free content. And if you want more content like this for every single DFS offering, I promise you, we got it all inside patreon.com/riserfall. It's less than $10 for the projections and all the sheets. It's a little less than 20 bucks. It's a little less than 20 bucks if you want all the exclusives, if you want large strategy conversations like your one you're looking at right now, and some Discord coaching, extra projection sets for MMA, weighted projections, all sorts of extra exclusive, my personal MME exposures and strategies I give away to the Legends tier. Give it a look. Tell me what you think. Leave your comments down below. If you like my strategy, it's my strategy. It's not a rule. DFS is not built on rules. It's built on guidelines. The DFS landscape is an ever-shifting one. And if you decide early that you're going to have to always stick to and abide by a certain set of rules, you're going to lose your money in the long run. You got to be able to adapt to the field. If the entire industry started using my personal strategy for League of Legends, then guess what? It would no longer be the correct strategy to use because it would become the chalk, in which case the pendulum swings the other way, and all of a sudden we have to create a new strategy to remain unique in a very, very loaded field of chalk. All right, my friends, hit that subscribe button, patreon.com/riserfall. Together, we rise or fall. Have a good day.